Survey creation. So in this video, I shall show us how to create a survey on the MIS project. So navigating to where we have new survey, in my case, FPCU survey, then new survey, one can create a survey. So in the previous video, I just created a new form. Now I am going to use that form to create a survey. So the way the survey module is designed, it is one such that you can create sections, and in each of those sections you could have multiple forms. So from the roots we have the forms. Different forms makes up a section, and then different sections make up a form, a survey rather. So here, this form now that I'm going to fill is the section form. So I'm going to call this new MIS section. So this is section 1 I am going to create. Is this section required or not? And is this section a data capture section or a one-to-many relationship section? So the difference between these two is that a data capture section is one such that you can append field different forms, and you just fill up the forms and then submit. But a one-to-many relationship section is one such that you could fill whatever form is tied to that particular section. You could fill it over and over and over and again, depending on the conditions tied to it. So in the case of where we have a group, a work group, this one-to-many relationship comes in handy. So say we have a group and we have different members in the group. So we could have a first form where you capture information about the general activities of the group, then a one-to-many section where you can keep capturing the information of different members in that group over and over and again using the same form. That is when we use this one-to-many relationship option. But for this video, I shall just use the data capture type. So now I have created a section. So now to add forms to this section, clicking on this first button right here pops up a window where you could add the name of the form. And so I'm just going to name this MIS form. And here I am going to search the form I created in the previous video. Um, okay, so this is the MIS mobile test form I created. So clicking on it gives you a preview of what is entailed in the form. So do we want this to be a required form? Yes, you can then go ahead and add form, then click on close. So when you click on close, it adds this form to this section. So we could go ahead and still add as many other forms as we can to this particular section, and we can still go ahead to add many more sections to this list. So then the second stage of the survey creation is where we set fields to display. So this primary display field is in cases where we've captured this form on the mobile already and you want to go back to it, what field should you use to identify the particular capture you have made? So in my case, I'm just going to use the comments to identify the the capture I have just made. So in cases where you might have captured 5 entries with this particular survey, but you have not submitted them yet. So say you want to make an edit where you get to see the five captures you have made. What should you use to identify which is which? That is what this section here does. So this data preload form for cases where we want to preload the survey with default information, We can do that here and tie those information to a form. So at the point of assigning this survey to a data capture officer, you can fill up that form before sending it to the data capture officer. So when the data capture officer opens the survey, they will be able to see those preloaded information you have set. But for this video, I'm not going to select any. Then this is at what point should the GPS be captured. I'm going to set this to after. And then additional parameters. If there are any calculation or any adjustments you need to make before saving the data from the app, you can either save directly, or you could make your modifications in the code before saving it to the database. Then skip access rule location check. This is when, for people who decide not to, I'll get into that in the survey assignment, so not confused. So moving forward, third step here is the end condition. So if we want the survey to end, if a particular value is set to, if a particular field is set to a particular value, then end. So I could be like, if the user chooses um, NWP option list as option 1, we want the survey to end. So you could put up different conditions that can end the survey in this third step here, but I'm not going to put any. Then I could end, put as the last step, put the name of the survey and tie it to a comment. So I'm just going to name it MIS test survey, um, and add a comment. So now the survey has been successfully created. By navigating to view survey, we shall see the survey that we just created.